Analysis from a blank template. Okay, if you've been following along so far, what we've shown is how to use the basic functionality, shown how to create a report filter, a chart, how to create a table and a chart that talk to each other. Now we're going to talk about creating a completely blank template and making your own calculations in those templates. So the two ways that you can create a new object, if you want to create a new one inside of a tab you're already on, you just hover between two objects and click right there. You get a choice of what new object you want to create in that space. In this case, actually, I'm going to make a completely new tab, and this is the second way to create a new object by hitting this little star icon sign down at the bottom. This generates a new tab with that new object in it. So actually, let's do both and make a little filter above this table and start making some decisions on what maybe I want to make a new measure on. So in this example, let's work with the domestic shipment data, maybe show how to calculate an ADC number on your own. So let's start by starting out our table. Let's just add some measures here. I'm going to add net shipments to the table here. I'm going to go ahead and add imports, and I'm also going to add exports. Now before I go building out this table, let's go ahead and make the filter a little more specific so we don't grab the entire history. I'm going to drag year here into the filter, turn on a few of these years. The easiest way actually to select all of these is to right click the all name and use this select descendants. Now it's going to create a button for every single one of these years like that. And again, if you want to select multiple, just click the name and turn this on to multiple. Now I can turn on several years, and what that's going to do is pass this filter along into my table. So I'll turn on 5 years there. Let's go ahead and do that again, only we'll do it with the product type. So I'll drag that in. Let's pick a few product types to be able to filter on. I'll turn on semi-finished here. And now that I've made these decisions, I can go ahead and fill out my table. I know I'm not going to be pulling the entire history, so it's not going to be too strenuous on the system. I'll right click here on year, add that to the row. I'll go ahead, right click here on the product name or the product type and add that to the column. If you want to turn off the totals, all you have to do is right click inside of the table, use this display totals choice, hide those. And if you want to make your own measure, right click inside of the table and use this add measure choice. And you can do that two ways. You can use the add formula ribbon, which is useful if you're doing really simple calculations like adding, subtracting. You can also use this MDX choice, where you would basically describe your mathematics inside of this box. So let's go ahead here and we'll just make a little ADC. And the way to do that, really, I can drag from the left here into the box and perform basic mathematical calculations. So we'll go ahead and we'll get the incoming steel information. So let's add up imports. Just write out my formula right here in this box. Go ahead and get the shipments. But let's take out exports. And in this way, I'm making my own measure that's going to show up in that table. See how it turns into its own sort of tan colored column that tells you that you created that. Now if I right click this and create a chart from it, I'm going to drag and drop this chart just over to the right of the table here and resize this to look kind of nice. you can actually see inside of the measure dropdown that my new measure now shows up. And if you want to add more than one measure at a time, click this little hand on the right of the measure dropdown. You can see I can turn on several measures at a time. A few more things about manipulating your new objects. You can actually change this chart type to be of several chart types. So if you right click just inside of your chart, there's a second tab here that has all of the basic chart types, so you could maybe stack them if you wanted to. Or let's say I wanted to send one to a secondary axis. You can actually click the color inside of the chart and change where it's showing. So let's make ADC a line, and let's send it to the secondary. That's how you would do a manipulation like that.